Hey y'all, today I am going to make some chicken jalapeno popper soup. But before I do that, I have to prepare the jalapenos, and that is what I'm going to demonstrate to you in this little short tutorial. And then after that, we'll make the soup in a separate tutorial. Trust me, there are certain ways to handle jalapenos. Miss Katie, and you have found me here at Heritage Ways. Also, I have a website, heritageways.com, and there's a lot of content over there. Recipes, things that we make and sell, the homemade pot holders, the aprons, my cookbooks, and so forth and so on. So I invite you to visit heritageways.com. All right, I have been using jalapenos for years. We love them. We love jalapeno poppers, which we make often. But there are certain ways to handle jalapenos. All right, first of all, my tips are to use gloves. Now, if you don't have gloves, I'm going to tell you a couple of things you can do to get the hot jalapeno oil off your hands when you're through chopping the jalapenos and preparing them for something like soup, which is what I'm doing now. But I do love these. I'm sure you can get them on the internet. I get them they're found more places now than they used to be, but I like to go to Gordon Food Service. That's just my personal preference and place that I like to get them. And I get a box and it lasts months at a time. Now, jalapenos have an oil called capsaicin. Now, capsaicin is actually very good, they say, for heart, blood pressure. I am not a doctor. I am not a health professional. But you can do your own research on that. And that's why they say that peppers are very good for you. All right. Jalapeno peppers, in our opinion, I think that's depending on the person, are not terribly hot. But we've had some that are hot, so you just never know. Also, they come in different sizes. They grow in different sizes. I grew some this year. We usually grow a lot, but you could get tiny ones or huge ones. And part of that is the variety, and part of that is just how long you have let them stay on the vine. All right, so we're going to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate how to cut these and protect your hands, and then we're going to talk about how to get the capsaicin oil off your hands if you don't have gloves. Or even if you do have gloves, sometimes you might get a little nick in your gloves and some of that oil will come through. You do not want to touch your face or go to the bathroom or anything like that with that oil on your hands, trust me. All right, we're just going to cut the tops off of the peppers. Let me get my compost bowl that I'm already working with here. Now, also, some people don't put the the seeds in the compost. You could save, if you grew these, you could save the seeds for next year. If it's a variety that you know you can grow, I'm just throwing them in our kind of compost trash food waste pile or bowl there. All right, I have cut the peppers. You just cut the peppers in half. And then you can do one of two things. If you wanted to get a spoon, you could kind of spoon out the seeds. Or if you wanted to use just a paring knife, you can cut the veins, making it easier to take out the membrane and the seeds. Now, you also, of course, can use your fingers and use your hands, which I usually do. But that sometimes does cause maybe a tear in your gloves if you don't have really thick gloves. If you've got garden variety, thin, just food service gloves. But see, I just kind of broke the membrane from the pepper. And I can just finish it off with my hands that way. But yes, you can take it off with your hands as well. So let's do that one more time, coming up closer here. And then we will talk about how to clean your hands. Now, if you have any undesirable parts, I just cut those off. If you have any of the brown, if it doesn't bother you to leave them, then you can leave them. Now, I cut the jalapenos in strips, long ways, almost like I do bell peppers. Now, also, you need to make sure you're not cutting the tips of your gloves here as well. You want to avoid that. The tips stick out a little bit, so it can be tricky, but trust me, you're going to be happy you had the gloves. Been there and done that kind of thing. All right, now I just have these little julienne type strips. And again, this is going to be for chicken jalapeno popper soup. You can use this for, you know, whatever recipe you need. If you're making a chicken jalapeno popper casserole, taco soup, tortilla soup, and that sort of thing. You can use either knife. With this particular situation, using my gloves, the paring knife seems to be easier to make the strips. Typically, I would use this standard chef's knife, which is my favorite knife in the kitchen right now. You want to be mindful that you're also, when you're cleaning up, you have touched your, you've gotten the hot jalapeno pepper oil on your handles of your knives too, or anything you've touched. So just be mindful of that as well. All right, cut it up the way you want and then set it aside. So again, we are taking the top off. I personally just take off any, these are from the grocery store, so they were grown in a greenhouse somewhere. They're not homemade, homegrown rather. So again, I'm just kind of breaking that membrane right there, and then I will just pull it out with my hands and throw this into my waste bowl. Now, if you want to leave seeds in, depending on the heat that you like for your recipe, again, that's up to you. If you want to leave some seeds, I'm not picky about this. I have seeds in my candied jalapenos that I make, which are absolutely wonderful. We call them cowboy candy, but folks have now trademarked that name, so we're not supposed to call it that on the internet now. Anyway, candy for cowboys. I've also used jalapenos to make a jalapeno powder, so I could link that video for you as well. All right, so we have our chopped jalapenos. Now about cleaning. I use this washable board, and that way I can just put this in the dishwasher, and I don't have to worry about cleaning a wooden surface or anything like that. I'm going to put my knives in the sink, and I will remember that they have hot jalapeno oil on them. My cutting board will go to the dishwasher. My gloves come off like so. You take and this is the way you would do it. I'm not a nurse, but in the medical community as well. But you would take the outside and you're going to roll it out like this. You're going to grab it, and then you're going to take the other one and you're going to roll it, and you have one inside the other. And now you can dispose of that. All right, if you have the jalapeno oil, the hot jalapeno oil on your hands, then there are a couple of things you can do. Number one, dish soap, which I keep in this jar, is made to break down oils. Now, water is going to spread the molecules. It is not just plain water. It's not going to help you. It might do more harm than good. So you could wash your hands with some dish soap that you use for your dishes, because it's made to cut grease. Also, you could use olive oil. Now, you could put a little bit of olive oil all over your hands, paying attention to under your fingernails and so forth, and rub it in, and then wait a minute or two, because that oil is breaking down the capsaicin oil, and you can then wash with your dish soap. And I would use those methods if I was not using gloves, but gloves is certainly the way to go for me. So I hope this helped you. learn a little bit about how to handle jalapenos, and the next thing we'll do together is to make the chicken jalapeno popper soup.